What's up, YouTube? What's up, DM Mafia? It's your boy Dolce.
And it's your girl Nesha. We back with another video, y'all.
Back with another reaction video, y'all. We back at it, y'all. I know we was gone for a little while, but we back, y'all. We gonna, like we said, we gonna drop 2 videos a day, y'all, for the rest of the month, y'all. Or maybe 3. It all depends on what y'all want. Let us know in the comments how many reaction videos we should drop every day, y'all. But, like I always say before every video, subscribe to the channel, y'all. Like the video and comment down below y'all opinions. Also, we got other channels, y'all. Subscribe to our family channel where we drop vlogs daily. It's called The Curry Family. Subscribe to The Curry Club where we drop skits.
Difficult.
No, just say
it. Make sure y'all subscribe to this channel and all our other channels, y'all. We got the Curry Club.
What's the difference?
No, because you breaking it down. We got the Curry Club, we got Dolce and Nesha, and we got, what's the other one? The Curry Family, y'all. All of them is different things. Go check them out. Subscribe to all of them.
Sometimes you gotta explain to people what they want, what they going to go look at, what they going to go see. So you can be like, oh, I want to see skits.
If y'all want to see skits, pranks, vlogs, go check out those other 3 channels.
All right, y'all. The reaction video we're about to get into today. Her best friend murdered her and her kids.
I think you turned a
true crime documentary.
Did you turn it off?
Yeah, a true crime documentary, y'all. This is about to be crazy, y'all.
Yeah.
Her best friend murdered her and her kids. That's crazy. You can't trust nobody. That's why you don't even need friends in life.
At all.
Be by yourself.
Your family, your friends.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We about to get into it right now.
Questioning everything. In 2006, Tiffany Hall rushed into a hospital carrying a lifeless newborn, claiming a tragic premature birth. But when doctors wanted to examine her, she refused, raising suspicions. At the same time, the community was gripped by fear as a pregnant woman named Jamela Tunstall and her 3 young children went missing. As investigators dug deeper, they uncovered disturbing truths that no one could have imagined.
Wait a minute.
By the end of this
well, I ain't getting to it yet, but it sounds like she killed her and her 3 kids and took her unborn baby.
No,
that's why they wanted to examine her. Like, she was never pregnant. She didn't have the baby. Her best friend did.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's weird, insane.
That's definitely a weirdo situation.
Video, you'll be left wondering, what truly drives someone to commit such unthinkable acts?
All them little kids.
For starters, Tiffany wasn't exactly a newcomer in Jamela Tunstall's life. They had known each other since they were little, calling each other sisters even though they weren't related by blood. Additionally, both girls grew up in the same neighborhood in East St. Louis, Illinois, and had a lot in common. Most people who knew them described them as quiet and a bit introverted, often hanging out together and finding comfort in each other's company amidst the ups and downs of their challenging lives.
Growing up together and everything.
And boy, did they have challenging lives. Jamela faced a really tough childhood, moving from one foster home to another while trying her best to stay in school. It wasn't easy for her at all, but through the difficulties, she found a sense of belonging with Tiffany. They became close friends, and Tiffany understood Jamela in a way that others didn't. Meanwhile, Tiffany had her own battles to fight. By the time she turned 14, she was already making headlines for all the wrong reasons. She had gotten into trouble with the law and earned the label of a juvenile delinquent for kicking her mother. Her home life was just as chaotic, filled with strict curfews and rules she constantly broke. It seemed like she was always butting heads with her family. In fact, Tiffany's mother, Beverly Cruz, once told the St. Louis Post-Dispatch that Tiffany was quite the handful. She even recounted a wild story about how Tiffany had set their kitchen on fire when she was a teenager. Yet despite everything, both Tiffany and Jamela stuck together, creating a friendship that felt unbreakable. And just like how they found solace in each other, they also shared the experience of becoming mothers. At 16, Jamela welcomed her first child, a son named Demond, in 1999, and then had 2 more kids, Ivan in 2003 and Janella in 2004. Although she struggled at times, like when she lost custody of her kids for disciplining her eldest son with a belt, she fought hard to reclaim her family. After taking parenting classes, she got her children back, determined to turn her life around. She even bought a car with her tax refund and enrolled in community college, aspiring to become a photographer one day. On the other hand, Tiffany's journey was equally tumultuous when it comes to parenting.
Her.
Just like Shamela, she became a mother at just 16, welcoming her first child into the world, followed by a second baby shortly after. But her life took a dark turn in 1999 when she lost custody of her daughters.
They both lost custody.
Authorities discovered alarming evidence of severe abuse against her 2-month-old baby, painting a heartbreaking picture of neglect. Witnesses recalled seeing the infant in Tiffany's arms, limp like a rag doll, which raised immediate concerns. The injuries sustained that day would leave lasting consequences, and by the time the little girl turned 7, she still relied on diapers and struggled to communicate, often speaking in sounds that were difficult to understand. But in 2002, both of Tiffany's daughters were returned to her care.
Never got her back.
She got him back.
This happened after the state attorney decided not to pursue charges of abuse against her. The Department of Children and Family Services concluded that Tiffany was no longer a threat, which meant she could finally reclaim her role as a mother. It was a big relief for her, a chance to start fresh with her kids. However, life had other plans for Tiffany. That same year, she found herself in legal trouble once again. At just 23, she was charged with possession of a stolen credit card.
Her whole life.
Meanwhile, Jamela was living a completely different life at this point. While Tiffany's world was filled with drama and chaos, Jamela had found a quieter routine that worked for her and her family. She often kept to herself, focusing on protecting her children from the tough realities of their housing project. Life wasn't easy, but Jamela was determined to create a safe space for her kids. She was a cautious mom, rarely letting her children play outside unsupervised. Whenever they did venture out, you could find Jamela sitting on a milk crate just by her door, her watchful eyes following their every move. Her kids found joy in a little green tractor, a simple toy that they shared with the neighborhood kids. It was a small but significant source of happiness in their tough surroundings. Additionally, Jamela would walk her children to the school bus stop every morning, ensuring they started their day safely. By 2006, Jamela was 7 months pregnant, eagerly awaiting the arrival of a baby girl. She dreamed of a brighter future for herself and her growing family, filled with hope and possibilities. While Jamela was focused on her family's well-being and looking forward to new beginnings, Tiffany was still grappling with her own struggles. Life seemed to throw challenge after challenge at her, but despite everything, their friendship remained strong. In fact, Tiffany often took the time to babysit Jamela's kids, even though she had her own parenting troubles to manage. It all seemed okay for them. But everything changed on the evening of September 16, 2006. Tiffany made a startling call to the police, claiming she had just given birth to a stillborn child at Frank Holton Park. When she arrived at the hospital, the situation took a bizarre turn. Tiffany refused to let doctors examine her, raising immediate concerns about her story. Investigators began to question her, and as they pressed for details, her accounts became increasingly confusing. She alternated between saying she had been sexually assaulted and insisting that wasn't the case at all. No one knew Tiffany was pregnant, except for her Navy boyfriend. An autopsy was performed on the baby girl, but it revealed no signs of trauma and failed to determine a clear cause of death. After that unsettling night, Tiffany left the hospital, and the lifeless infant was taken to the morgue. What's even more bizarre is that Tiffany went ahead and organized a funeral for the baby she named Tiffany Horn. Just days after her dramatic claims, on September 21st, she held the service, but the event was anything but ordinary. The funeral director couldn't help but notice Tiffany's strange behavior. Just minutes before the ceremony was set to begin, she unexpectedly asked if they could move the funeral to another day so that more family members could attend. This raised eyebrows, especially since only 2 family members showed up, which seemed odd given the circumstances. To make things weirder, Tiffany showed up 2 hours late. That's not something you expect at a funeral, where people usually arrive on time to pay their respects. Among the few who did come was her boyfriend, Keith Horn. He had come back from the Navy
That's
just
why
for
it'd be
this
so hard to do
service because
videos
he
and
believed
reactions
the
to these
baby being
kids. Don't
buried
listen, they
was
be-
his daughter. Meanwhile, everyone was starting to get really worried about Jamela. No one seemed to know where she was, and her friends and family were feeling more anxious by the minute. They tried calling her, sending messages, and reaching out on social media, but nothing came through. It was like she had just vanished into thin air. By the way, I post true crime and new cases here every day. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, please consider
So
subscribing.
her
It
dude was
helps
in the
a lot.
army. It seemed like she did
It
that.
wasn't until
so
after the funeral
she made,
when
she
Tiffany
had like
had
she
a
was pregnant to
conversation
him.
with Keith that would change
And it'd be crazy
everything.
if she killed them, all them
Tiffany
just to
casually
get that baby.
mentioned that she had cut the baby out of her best friend, Jamela. Those words hit Keith like a ton of bricks. His
I knew
mind
it.
raced as he tried to process what she was
She
saying.
cut the baby out of
How
her.
could she claim something so horrific? Was it
Oh,
even
she got the baby out of
possible?
her. See,
At
these
that
kids got
point,
me
Keith
missing
felt a
stuff.
rush of panic. He knew he couldn't just sit
she
around
told
doing
him.
nothing. He had to protect Jamela and figure out the truth behind Tiffany's shocking confession. Without wasting any time, he grabbed his phone and dialed the police. The police wasted no time in finding Jamela's body, which had been missing for 6 long days. When they discovered her in high weeds near Tiffany's home, it sent shockwaves through
Was
the
that another
community.
baby or the same baby?
To make the situation even more chilling, they found a pair of scissors lying near her
Baby
remains.
she had the funeral for. There's another one.
This
That's the
led
one
to
she cut her
Tiffany's
friend.
arrest that same night.
Older friend?
While
she
in
did it?
custody, she began
See,
to
y'all
share
missed
the
it 'cause these
horrifying
kids.
details
I
of
just
what
told
had
you to shut
happened
up.
almost a week ago, the day she delivered her baby girl. Earlier that day, Jamela, who was 7 months pregnant, had been casually hanging out with Tiffany at her
Wonder why she
mother's
had to do
home
that,
in
though.
Belleville. But things took a dark turn when Tiffany struck Jamela over the head with a table leg, hitting her repeatedly until Jamela became unconscious. Once Jamela was down, Tiffany took the situation to an unimaginable level. She bound Jamela's hands and feet with duct tape, ensuring she couldn't escape. At
Dude
one
did all
point,
type of shit to her.
Jamela regained consciousness and desperately tried to wriggle free from her restraints. But Tiffany, now completely unhinged, struck her again and taped her mouth shut to silence her cries for help. Then Tiffany dragged Jamela's lifeless body into the bathroom. In a chilling moment, Tiffany cut open Jamela's stomach with scissors in a desperate attempt to take the baby from her womb.
It's crazy.
Tragically, Jamela was still alive during this horrific act, but she lost an enormous amount of blood and eventually succumbed to her injuries. After committing
was just
such a
muted, she
monstrous
unmuted.
crime, Tiffany tried to cover her tracks.
What the?
Oh,
She
that's
wrapped
crazy.
Jamela's body in a shower curtain and transported it to a weedy, vacant
She was
lot
just
behind
naturally
her
just
house,
evil and
where she dumped
possessed
it
or
like
something.
garbage. What's even more unsettling is that Tiffany had been planning this for weeks. Just
Yeah,
a
she was
week
planning
before
taking her baby
Jamela's
home.
murder, she had purchased items for a makeshift birth kit, scissors, alcohol, and a bulb syringe. To make things even more twisted, she had been pretending to be pregnant, hoping to lure her boyfriend Keith home from the Navy under false pretenses. When the news hit that Jamela had died and Tiffany had been arrested, it horrified both their families. Both mothers were left reeling, struggling to
When the other girl,
comprehend the
once she was in,
tragic turn of
foster
events.
care?
Just when everyone
the
thought
one's
things
dead.
couldn't get worse, another dark cloud loomed over the community. Jamela's 3 children were missing, and nobody knew where they were. The following day, Friday, September
That's crazy.
22nd, the police sprang into action. They headed straight to Jamela's apartment, hoping to find photos of the missing kids to share with the media, hoping someone would recognize them and help bring them back. Jamela's partner, Ivan Collins, had already been questioned, and the police needed more information from him. While the police were piecing together the timeline, they learned that Tiffany's daughters were safe, but Jamela's kids were still unaccounted for. The officers reached out to Ivan again, hoping he could shed light on the situation. He mentioned that he'd last seen the children 3 days earlier, on the 18th, but when he was asked about their whereabouts since then, he said they had been with him before leaving with
So who was
Tiffany
that, her
that
dude?
same night.
No, that's
This
the
raised
one
even
that
more
killed.
eyebrows.
She killed.
As the investigation continued, Tiffany was still in custody, and it wasn't long before she spilled the beans about where the kids were. This confession led the police back to Jamela's apartment the next morning,
Freezer or something.
but what they found was nothing short of horrifying. As they stepped inside, a dreadful smell
day?
hit them, a sickening stench that made it clear something was
Yeah, they
terribly
wanted
wrong.
there, is it?
It was then that they discovered the heartbreaking truth: the naked and decomposing bodies of Jamela's 3 children. 2 were crammed inside the washing machine, and the third was found in the dryer. They had been left there for 5 long days, and the police had unknowingly walked right past that horrifying scene just the day before. It was a chilling realization that no one could have prepared for, deepening the tragedy of the whole situation. Tiffany's confession to the children's murders. Now let's take a closer look at Tiffany's side of the story.
Let's see what she got to say.
On September 18th, just 3 days before the funeral, and shortly after she had committed the unthinkable act against Jamela and her unborn baby, Tiffany had more plans in store. Tiffany spun a big lie to Ivan, claiming that Jamela wanted her kids and her car. This sneaky story let Tiffany pick up 7-year-old Demond, 2-year-old Ivan, and 10-month-old Janella. Once she had them, Tiffany casually told the kids it was time for a bath. But instead of a fun splash, one by one, she drowned them in the same bathtub where she had killed their mother. Some reports even say that she drugged the kids with cough syrup before putting them in the tub, making it even easier for her to carry out her horrific plan. After the terrible act, Tiffany stuffed their tiny bodies into the washer and dryer of Jamela's apartment in the John DeShields housing complex. By this point, she had not only taken her best friend's life and that of Jamela's unborn baby, but also confessed to the murders of her 3 children.
Crazy.
Yeah, like why?
All the kids were naked, except for a pair of underpants on one of the children. Surprisingly, Tiffany never gave any reason for why she killed Jamela's kids, leaving everyone puzzled. Why would someone take the life of their best friend?
Yeah, why would you kill their
What
kids?
could drive a woman to harm 3 innocent kids? Did Tiffany really have a miscarriage, or was she ever even pregnant? Did she struggle with mental health issues? The questions seemed never-ending. Jamela's funeral took place on September 29, 2006, and it was a massive gathering with over 700 people showing up to pay their respects. Friends and family shared stories about Jamela's bright, childlike smile, the way her face lit up when she talked about her kids, and how she often got bored easily. People remembered her children's unique personalities too, bringing warmth to an otherwise tragic day. The community really came together, raising more than $30,000 in just 3 days to help cover the funeral costs for Jamela and her children. Initially, Tiffany was only charged with the murder of Jamela and her unborn daughter, but as the investigation unfolded, 3 more murder charges were added for the children. At first, Tiffany pleaded not guilty, leading to a psychiatric evaluation. She started with a public defender, but when the state announced it would pursue the death penalty, she was given a new lawyer experienced in such serious cases. James Gomrick, one of Tiffany Hall's lawyers, mentioned that while Tiffany was deemed mentally fit to stand trial, she also had some serious mental health issues going on and scored in the mid-70s on the IQ scale. But what sets Tiffany apart from other women who have committed similar crimes is that she already had kids of her own. Her daughters were just 7 and 8 years old at the time of the murders. On June 10, 2008, Tiffany was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for the horrific crime of murdering 5 people, including Jamela and her children. However, in September 2008, Tiffany tried to backtrack on her guilty plea, claiming her lawyer didn't do a good job defending her. Fortunately, the court shot down her request. In 2012, she filed another petition asking for a new lawyer, arguing that her trial attorneys weren't up to par. That one didn't get anywhere either, but Tiffany didn't give up. She felt strongly that her lawyers didn't properly investigate her mental health or whether she was fit to stand trial. In her petition, Tiffany claimed that Gomrish didn't even get the paperwork for her psychiatric evaluation until 2 days after she had already entered her guilty plea. The report from a second psychiatrist, who was supposed to figure out if she was sane at the time of the crime, was stamped as received on June 11, 2008, while Tiffany had made her plea on June 9th. A different report from an earlier evaluation said she was fit to stand trial, but didn't assess her sanity when the crime happened. That second report revealed that Tiffany had a long history of mental health issues that started in her childhood and included multiple hospitalizations. To back up her appeal, records from evaluations done after her plea showed diagnoses of several serious conditions: psychotic disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, schizophrenia, mood disorder, bipolar disorder, and mild mental retardation. Because of all this, the court decided to reverse Tiffany's denial of post-conviction relief, which meant she could keep fighting her case. Tiffany's petition went through several revisions, with new attorneys working on it throughout 2015 and 16. They were granted a bunch of extensions to get it right. She even asked for a new attorney again, but that request was denied too. Eventually, the court dismissed her petition because it didn't meet the necessary requirements. But Tiffany wasn't done yet. She appealed this decision, claiming her lawyer didn't do enough to amend the petition properly. In 2020, Tiffany finally got a break and won her appeal, giving her another shot at filing a petition for relief. It looks like Tiffany's case might be stuck in the appeals process for quite a while, but at least Jamela's family can find some comfort in knowing she's behind bars. Now, at 42 years old, Tiffany is being held at Logan Correctional Center in Lincoln, Illinois. One source noted that Jamela's stillborn baby girl was exhumed and reburied alongside Jamela and her 3 other children in Millstadt, Illinois. With all that said, Tiffany's case stands as one of the most disturbing crimes ever committed by a woman. It's a chilling reminder that no matter how well we think we know someone, we can never truly understand what they're capable of. Now we ask you again, is life in prison enough for...
She dead wrong for that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It ain't no, that much mental issues that'll make you do that. Like, she was just jealous of her.
Some people do be mentally ill like that,
but that you were jealous of her because you was a far worse bad mama than her. Clearly, you hurt your little child. She couldn't talk, walk.
That's crazy.
So she had been jealous. Like, that mama got her stuff together, got to school, wouldn't let her kids outside. Like, she was a more... So she had to been jealous. And
if y'all want to see us react to any more videos like this, y'all comment down below and let us know. And like the video up. And
I know y'all ain't get like a lot of reaction because we was watching it. That's crazy.
I'm sure y'all was watching it too, but a lot of people don't like you talking over it. So I had to keep jumping up and get the kids.
Yeah, I don't know. Every time we do these reactions, y'all, they seem to run into this room. Like, and if we close the door, they're going to bang on the door. Meaning going to bang on the door. So it's just like...
That's just how it's going to be sometimes, y'all. But we're going to probably start doing it while they sleep or something.
Yeah, I'm going to.
But y'all comment down below what else y'all want us to react to. If y'all want us to do more reactions to this type of like documentary type videos or movies, whatever y'all said. I know movies way too long, but we probably do like trailers or something. But
that'd be crazy.
Yeah, we can do some trailers.
Oh yeah, but we got something new we gonna bring to y'all.
Because I don't want nobody to start doing it first.
We can do it now. Well,
we got something new we about to bring.
We ain't gonna talk about it.
I know. But we gonna...
The next video y'all see is gonna be what we talking about, y'all. We gonna bring it to y'all. It was Danny's bright idea. And it's amazing, y'all. I can't wait to do it.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be...
I can't wait to do it, but I can't wait to do it.
Interesting, you feel?
Yeah, y'all.
But y'all, we love y'all. We about to get ready to end this video, y'all. Like this video up, subscribe. Comment down below what y'all thought about this video, y'all, because it was crazy to us. Beyond crazy. But we love y'all. Remember about to end this video right here. Let's get it. Peace.